Loggy, we have made our trip up the highway here to Melbourne to meet the very, very important Rob Thomas. He's an amazing guy. He is, wow, he's worth the drive, that's for sure.
Put in two varies, I appreciate that.
Fresh Daily. Wake up with Tom and Loggy.
Thanks for having a chat to us, mate.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
Big day for you. You're playing Melbourne tonight.
Yeah, it's always a good time. We've been we're kind of near the end of the tour. We were through Adelaide and we were in Canberra, and we played just outside of Melbourne on the second show out of the winery.
Yeah.
So we have a good rhythm going by now.
Yeah, and it's the Cheap Tooth tour that
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah.
Can I just? Do you want to just? No, you're good. You could just
No,
just
no,
a
no,
little,
no.
just a little bit of one.
When I was
Just,
younger,
you know.
I broke it slam dancing once when I was like 19.
Slam dancing.
Yeah, no, that's how old I am. That's actually, nobody's put those words together since 1996. But I was like 17 or 18, and somebody just nailed me right in the tooth, and I had a really big chip. And then over the years, it's kind of filed down a bit. But my wife wouldn't ever let me get it fixed because she liked it. So
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the only sign of aging that we can notice, because I wanted to ask you, do you have the key to the fountain of youth?
Yeah.
Mate, you do not look. We've known of you for 25 odd years.
Right.
And you don't look like you've aged a day, mate.
Oh, I do appreciate that. I'm dead inside if it's in a conversation.
It's okay, we all are.
Well, look, yeah. I mean, you don't like we said.
Also,
you don't
I just
age.
got 17 layers of makeup just applied on me.
Oh well, they've
That's
done a
okay.
good job
Yeah.
of one natural.
Yeah. My real face is 3 inches underneath the sheen of makeup.
Do you do a bit of that before you go on stage? Like, what's your on stage sort of routine?
Makeup? Oh,
yeah,
God, no.
like because I imagine a bit of sweat happens when you're
Yeah, I
up
couldn't
there.
imagine having makeup on stage. No, like I think it's funny. I don't like. I never do anything for my hair. I never put like. We just kind of like go like this and then run on stage.
Oh, you're one of those naturally beautiful guys. Thanks for rubbing it in.
It doesn't pay because like 3 songs in, I'm just a sweaty mess, and so it doesn't really pay to try and even look good.
Yeah,
you know, you're just gonna go
yeah.
out there and just kind of go with it, you know. And hopefully nobody's paying attention to. You know, after a few songs, nobody's paying attention to how my face looks.
Well, I would say you're not there to look pretty, but I have a few people that would disagree with that. A lot of people.
Yeah.
You got quite the fan club here in Australia.
I've been really fortunate here over the last 20 or so years. People coming back and still allowing me to kind of, and Matchbox to me, you know, letting me go back and forth solo, letting me make a different kind of music, and they keep coming along with it. So it's it's a gift really to have those people stick around.
I want to ask you about Matchbox. Are you guys on hiatus or?
No, we just I was doing the solo record and touring, and Paul is film scoring, and Kyle was out in the States touring his own thing, and so everybody's just kind of has their own things. We're getting back together next summer in the States, and we're going to tour together and work on some new music, and then maybe right at the beginning of 2021 come back over here in Australia as well.
Cool.
So
Right, we're gonna
it's
hope
just
for that.
I think as everybody gets older, you have families, at home. You have other things that you want to do and the things you want to accomplish, and so the model of us being in the studio and then being on the road every year nonstop, that just got way too much for all of us.
Sure,
So,
yeah.
I mean, and then of course, then I just go solo and I go in the studio and stay on the road all the time.
You're not getting any rest there. That's the whole point.
I'm just a glutton for the punishment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, congratulations on your 20-year anniversary with your lovely wife.
Thank you
That's
very
pretty
much.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Not very rock and roll of you at all, actually. Like,
It's
20-year
surprisingly more than you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that happens a lot more than you would think. I think the songwriter world, maybe. I mean, I think that the whole idea of rock and roll has evolved into kind of whatever the hell you want it to be.
Yeah.
To some
Sure,
degree,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that there's still, rock stars out in the world. The Tommy Lees of the world are still out there holding it down for all of us. And,
Yeah.
and I have a really period of like 5 or 6 years in the 90s that I don't really remember that well at all.
Yeah,
We all do, don't worry, we all
And
do.
I was told I had a really good time.
Yeah.
And so then I just kind of moved on from there.
That's cool. You guys work together, though, you and your wife, with a charity that you've got in, and you're very involved with a lot of big celebs that will have charities who will just put their name to something and then kind of let it run itself, but you're very involved with animals.
We started Sidewalk Angels. It was actually just me and my wife and her mother, and then a few people that work in my organization loan their time for to work as business managers and things like that. But we do it that way because it's grassroots, and we've raised millions, and everything that we raise can go directly to rebuilding no-kill shelters, helping these people get the care that they need, sometimes for medical rescues. We do rescues all around the country, from Puerto Rico and from Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so we've just been able to make it so that if you give money, you know exactly where it's going to go.
Yeah, which doesn't really happen a lot of the time.
I think sometimes, it's
nice.
hard, I think, because sometimes just the the fact of getting your word out there, it takes some money on itself, right? That's money just to kind of let people know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've been really fortunate to have my music as my own platform.
Yeah.
So like I can go out there and I can talk about it. I can do interviews like this and talk about it. And so we don't have to spend that kind of money on just letting people know what our mission statement is. And instead we can just go ahead and do the business of, of building these shelters and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that why you got into music? A foot in the door so you could tell people about animals?
No, I got into music to meet girls.
Nice. Yeah. That is very rock and roll. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you just did it very well, so good idea.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask too about that. So, being a frontman of Matchbox 20, there was a point there where, well, I mean, you're one of the biggest bands in the world, and there was a point there where you kind of hit that point, and then do you find more pressure or less pressure because you have people expecting the next big hit,
right,
or you're quite accomplished now and you're like, okay, we're here?
Well, I think we felt it after the first record, because when we have a really big first record, it seems like the odds are that the second record's not going to do very well, and everybody lets you know that, like, oh, here comes the sophomore slump. This is gonna be it.
Yeah.
And I think we felt a lot better when we put out the second record and had our first #1 single on that record.
Yeah.
And then we felt like, okay, maybe we'll have a stride here. I think the only people that ever wind up having a career and a sustained career are people that wound up having a moment. And that moment doesn't always last in that. You know what I mean? Like it goes through phases, and there's always the thing of the moment. But if you really, I think, utilize that moment well, you turn that into a career.
Yeah.
And then you have a group of initiated people that want to hear the music that you have to make, that want to come see you when you have to play it. And now, after 20 years, our crowds are like 7 to 70, because if you were my age when our first record came out, you're in your late 60s right now, and your kids are coming and their grandkids are coming.
Yeah, true.
And so now it's just about trying, you just get to kind of go out there and make what you hope is good music, and then you're going to find somebody that's going to listen to it.
Well, you are one of the best songwriters in the business.
In the world.
In the world.
That's what my mom told me.
Hey, we always listen to our mums. But I feel like your fans, and especially this album and this tour, this is where the fans that have known and loved you for years are coming out. I mean, you are getting that new fan coming through as well, but do you feel like this album you've written just from your heart and it's just the fans just seem to follow? Or is it sort of a process where you think, I'm going to put songs on this album because I think that my fans will like it?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really, I think that I write songs that really resonate with me, and I'm a pretty normal person, and so hopefully those songs will resonate with other people. Because I'm not writing about being a successful musician. I'm not writing about being on the road. I'm not writing about the hardships of fame. I'm just writing about relationships and interaction between people, and I think everybody kind of relates to that.
Yeah.
On the last record that I made, I think I took an effort, and I worked with a bunch of different producers, and I took it a little in a very poppy direction on that record, way more than I've ever probably done in the past. And so on this record, me and Butch Walker, the producer, I think we just kind of moved it a little back to just kind of bare bones songwriting.
Yeah.
Like everything started with just me on a piano or me on a guitar and just writing a song, and then producing that song, as opposed to like worrying about how it's going to fit into the the zeitgeist of the music industry.
Yeah, which seems to work really well for you. So
well, yeah, I mean, I think at this point, like I'm a different person at 47 than I was at 37 than I was at 27. Sure. And I think that it would be stupid for me to try and write the same songs that like a 27-year-old is writing right now. That's their job right now.
Yeah.
My job is to write songs from a point of view that I've earned over all the years.
Yeah. You don't want to try and mumble rap?
Yeah, no. Well, funny you should say that.
Oh, he's going to do slam dance and rap at the moment.
Slam dance.
Amazing.
I'm getting my face tattoo tomorrow.
Yes,
Fantastic.
very nice.
I was going to say, those songs that you can relate to, I was having a bit of a listen just to get myself in the zone, to your back catalogue of stuff, and it amazed me, particularly the first bits of songs, like just the amount of your songs that I know the words to.
Right, huh?
And,
yeah.
Because over the years, we've kind of grown up listening to them, but also I've been able to relate to them, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I think to this day, I'm still a lot of times I'm the guy that you meet on the plane that you've never heard of, and then if somebody tells you, you're like, oh, I know that song. Oh, I know that song.
Yeah,
oh, I know
yeah.
that song. Like I think I got to a place where a lot of my music is way more famous than I am, which to me is a real kind of success in there. That people they're taking your songs home and they're living with them, and they're part of their Saturday nights and their Sunday mornings and their weddings and their funerals and their birthdays. Like it's cool to be fabric, part of that fabric.
Well, it's not only that, it's part of them getting pissed at the pub every weekend, because I swear to God, your songs, if there's a pub band playing, about 5 of your tunes are coming out on the,
It's funny.
dance floor.
I was talking to John Mayer, and we just decided, because he wrote that song Daughters, and that gets played at like every wedding for the father-daughter dance. And at every reception of every wedding, they're playing Smooth at some point. So like between us, we're going to be at every wedding until the end of time.
What a win.
All right, well, you're always welcome back in Australia.
Thanks.
All the best for the show tonight and the rest of the tour. Thank you so much for having a chat to us, Rob Thomas.
Fresh Daily.
Wake up.
With Tom and Loggy.